Can you open the stream on the Discord as well? Okay, and it looks like we are back, so please give us one moment as we can't really see what's going on here right now ourselves. But, I mean, definitely looks like there is a pretty heavy lead right now for the side of SJW. 6k gold lead. I think this might even be the biggest lead of the series we've seen so far.
Hi everybody, we're back by the way. So it looks like we have missed quite a lot because they were fighting in the mid lane before the pause had happened, and I guess we lost maybe like 10 minutes of the game. It looks like they were about at 20 minutes by the time that happened. So we're now 31 minutes in, 6,000 gold, as you said, in favor. I did say in a little document that I have that red side is probably better for this series. And, I'm just going to casually say it. So it's 3 drakes to 2. That is the caveat, I will say. So that is a plus. Looks like Baron was taken a little bit ago. I'm assuming there was probably a fight before the Baron before the first Baron went down. So it looks like Proton Plat player did die at some point. Rise has 3 items, but has not been able to get involved in some of these fights. But the rest of this team, on the other hand, that is a 700 gold bounty on the Varus. That is 550 on the Vigar, and 300 off of farm alone onto Mist. So looks like that SYN Jerry's were having a lot of fun without us.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems to be the case, and 5-1-3 on all Gucci. This poke VAR is definitely starting to, well, I'm not going to say starting to come online. It has definitely been online and has gotten a lot of value out of it. But the next dragon is going to be spawning in a minute and a half, and maybe that could be kind of the hope coming in from Summit. This would be Soul for them, as actually Baron's going to be spawning, and for a moment there, I thought they were going to pull it right on spawn, but not going to be doing that quite yet. If I could ask Prod for one thing, though, I have to know Sean Stacks. We're 33 minutes into the game. I have to know what this Veigar is capable of.
We have death cap, too, so it should be a lot.
366. Yeah, this is a powerful Veigar.
That was an AP also. So my boy is really strong. That is going to be an absolute one-shot for any of these squishes, I will say. Looks like Espada has been doing the thing the whole game as Sean might be caught out.
Yeah, Sean's taking a lot of damage, and now her flashing in will be able to go golden as now over top comes Heki. But with the Chains of Corruption going to get taken back, and now it's going to be the first to go down, and Heki's going to be the second. And now meanwhile on the bot side, Espada still going to be winning out in the side lane, but with that 2-0 in the top side, they don't have the health to pull Baron, but Dragon should definitely be coming up on the menu in about 20 seconds.
I feel like we are using our Jinx Rocket just a little early. For whatever reason, Proton Plat player used it when everyone was like 3/4 HP, and I think we should have waited a little bit to get them a little lower and then pop the ultimate, and maybe from there the fight turns in their favor and they pick up a couple of kills. But they don't get anything out of that. They lose their support and jungler for the side of Summit Esports. They are going to be losing this next Drake. That is 3 dragons for Ocean. So if I can put that in terms that even I would understand, that is 3 Ocean Drakes probably in a row. But man, that is really strong. That's a lot of healing. This Lilia has been really, really strong like the whole game. We see just almost flame horizoning Heki as well. And one thing that I wanted to point out too, like you pointed out earlier too, is this is the first decisive goal lead of the series. The entirety of the last game was close. Was that an EG logo I just saw? I think it was. That's crazy. This is the Goldie's not even close this game. It is very definitively in favor of SYN Jerry's Watermelons. They are in control of this game. They're looking to tie up this series, and I didn't want to be a Game 1 Andy, but I'm glad I don't have to be anymore because, man, oh man, this is going to be an exciting rest of the series. Oh,
yeah, but they're pulling Baron, and it's already at 4k HP. They're just going to be able to sneak this away.
Okay.
I mean, and their TP's coming out of Espada as well, so they can't even trade it over onto the bot side. I mean, that was the heist of the series, I guess. I mean, that's just a perfectly free Baron.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense too. They noticed that there was not a lot of vision on that side of the map. They were able just to shred it down. This Jinx does have 4 items, I think, as of now, 35 minutes into the game. So they're able just to kind of melt their way through it, and that was a really good call. Oh, we're fighting.
Oh, speaking of good call of the Forge God going to be coming out over top. They found Sean. Sean could be their target, and Monster Cube from behind is going to be able to get the kill. Lilting Lullaby. Proton Plat player did get slept, but right now they're just going to be running through them. All Gucci, the final survivor that was part of the fight, and should be going down soon. Nubly with the slows. Mantra Q's almost in the area for the bit of damage, but All Gucci still running, still healing. Those 3 Ocean Drakes keeping All Gucci alive. Just needs a little bit more. The Bellows Breath will come out. It's going to be the shutdown. And I think Summon can just end the game. They just brought it back. We may have missed half the game, but we did see the glory come out of Summit Esports. They're gonna take 1, they're gonna take 2. Espada is the only one, but there's just nothing left to do. Game 2, going to Summit Esports Arctic Warfare.
Okay, well, it would have been nice to see how we got to this point. I mean, we got the tail end of it, I get. What happened? Like, okay, so the last thing that we saw before that pause happened was they were getting ready to pretty much Omega lose a fight. And we come back in 10 minutes later. It's a 6,000 gold lead for the side of SYN Jerry's. They're so far ahead. They got Baron. They're on their way to getting themselves the soul point. And then the Baron gets snuck away. Like, okay, whatever. They're still down 5k gold. But I guess that doesn't matter when your Vigar sleps just ever so slightly out of position. You pull the trigger immediately, and they pick up all the crucial kills to go up to match point in the series. And that's where we are right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is you still have to give them full credit because the second Sean went out of position, they just blew everything. They're like, we take this Vagar, we take this game. And yeah. I mean, being able to even see that opportunity is pretty big on its own, and then acting on it is difficult too. So, I mean, I guess they deserve that win. We didn't really get to see, unfortunately, too much of how SJW got that lead and what happened after they gained it. But in the end, doesn't really matter. Game 2 going over to Summit Esports.
Yeah, we kind of Omega cast a cursed it too, because we were already thinking like we're tying up the series, and all of a sudden, I guess Summit Esports was like, hold on, they're talking crap. And then they just ended the game. Yeah. So now on the back foot, like SJW has to reverse sweep. That's just where we're going from here. They have to reverse sweep now. That should have been their game. So I know they're going to be pissed going into game 3. And I think they'll probably stick on red side. I arguably minus that one little shenanigan at the end of the game there. I do think red side is the better side for this series. We saw how dominant the top lane matchup was. Espada was so far ahead of the Ornn, but of course it's Ornn. But yeah, all right. Let's just go to
They just have you speechless. Yeah, we'll be able to see if they will be able to do the reverse sweep after we go to a short break. But when we come back, we're going straight into the draft for game 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back again soon. And we are back with game number 3 between Summit Esports and SYN Jerry's Watermelons, and it's 2-0 right now, so this could be match point. This could be the series right now.
Well, yeah. We had shenanigans happen in the previous game, so very interestingly, we are now 2-0 on match point, as you said. So as you can see, the champions down below, those are champions that cannot be played again because this is a full fearless. So curious to see what can come out of this third game. And I gotta give it credit to the subs right now for Summit Esports. They've played pretty well. Ornn was down 1 million gold once again, still wins the game because it doesn't matter. Ornn can still do a lot in these later fights. So I imagine the bans will mostly stay the same for the side of Summit Esports. I think we'll probably still see the same 3 for the side of SJW. Yeah, we got 2 out of the 3 thus far. Do we get the Karma ban again, or do we get like another ADC ban? Like, now we're at the point now, we're at the 3rd game of the series, 4 AD carries are off the board. About this point, this is where Jhin, Xayah, and Caitlyn are like left over for what get picked typically. Yeah, Smolder has been rising in priority as of recently. I know you were talking about that in between, thinking if we go like far enough, like maybe Smolder comes like game 3 or 4 or something. So that would be one of those another one of those ultra scaling options. It seems like we've gotten to a weird state in the game where we're prioritizing scaling over everything now that I'm thinking about it. But the Karma being the ban off the table, I don't think we can.
Can we play that?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that.
Okay, okay.
I was about to say, I was like, I don't think we can play that. Like, okay.
Smolder.
Well,
okay, there we go.
Okay.
See, the little dragon always wins. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm a huge Smolder fan. I basically one-trick it in solo queue right now. 70% win rate, by the way. But it's a lot of fun. And the most important thing about it is we've seen that both sides really like grouping together, and they really like scaling into late game. Smolder is very good at both of those things and into both of those things. So I think it is a perfect pick unless Jerry's Watermelons do decide to change up their strats.
There's the Maokai that I mentioned earlier. However, I do believe this would be more of a jungle pick rather than a support pick by the looks of it. No. There is a possibility that I was going to say D-Shot can potentially play it. So this could be either Maokai jungle or support. It could be either or. Maybe they'll go ahead and pick another AD carry here. I think, funny enough, this could be a potentially decent Zeri game, I would say. Or Sivir. Yeah, Sivir's another one that's open. Rather, that's like kind of in priority also. Since we're probably going late, Sivir makes a lot of sense. I mean, just how these 2 AD carries have been playing this role, like this series thus far. Both been playing very, very well. They've had their silly moments, obviously, but they've been pretty consistently like team fighting at the top level that they can in this series. So we see the Sivir Maokai on the other side. It could be either Maokai support or jungle, and I think that would be fine. Nunu is probably one of the spiciest picks that I could even think about being picked in this series, but Nunu is a pretty solid champion. Does get played a lot in solo queue, a little bit here and there in pro play. It's kind of like one of those niche, like, hey, I could play this pick. Urgot is another insane pick that I was not anticipating getting this early. And yeah, I was about to say in my head, I'm like, are we watching Summit Esports? Are we watching FlyQuest right now?
I think Inspired did play Nunu as well. I mean, this actually is a very FlyQuest-esque roster. I'm pretty sure Jan plays Smolder. Yeah, okay, let's keep a close eye on how they play. If all of a sudden they look like perfect players, at least as close to perfect as North America can do, then that's where we really have to.
I like that pick.
Keep in mind, yeah, Malphite, really fun pick there.
No, yeah, like that right there can negate a lot of what Urgot wants to do. It'll be rough early, obviously, but if this Malphite can get some gold on him, get some tank stats on him, he can make Urgot and Smolder's life miserable coming into these later stages, because obviously this isn't going to be your classic solo queue AP Malphite where the second he sees you AD carry, he's like, beep, boop, target acquired, press R, you're dead. That's not what we're going to end up getting. This is more of the tanky, I'm here to disrupt the team fight, be that beefy front line. So as long as we don't fall into the hard steel trap, I'm pretty sure that this Malphite pick should be fine. Now we're getting into the second phase of bans. The Silas ban makes a ton of sense because you obviously don't want that to happen. So it looks like we're going to get rid of also control mages. So we're taking out Syndra and what I would assume maybe Orianna as well. Maybe it gets big on the table. Maybe we're aiming for a Azir or Talia, funny enough. That could be a possibility. Yep, Rick is taken off the table as well. So if I had to, if I had to throw it out there for like 80k or not 80k mid laners rather that are like popular that are AP, we still have Orianna open, we still have Annie open, we still have Talia and Azir open. Maybe we get something even more crazy. Aurora is another option as well. So there's still a lot of good mid picks. The SJW are going to have the first pick here. They'll probably pick support, I would assume, and say counter pick for mid. That would make a lot of sense. Weirdly enough, Mantra Q been playing very well the whole series, despite being down in the last game, just coming back and helping the team win that game. But I assume we're going to pick support here.
Yeah, I think that would be the right call. I mean, for both these two teams to just kind of have support be the next pick. As Hui, I completely forgot about Hui, but...
Oh, Hui got banned and they picked Victor.
Oh, I see. Okay, there we go. That confused me for a second. I'm like, can they do that? I don't think they can pick a banned champion, but yeah, so Victor is going to be the pick, and that also goes really well with really everyone on their team. It does mean that they're going to be lacking damage early with the whole Victor, Malphite, Sivir. They need farm, but any Rel, those are very spicy picks too.
So we are planning on dropping the Rel ult and dropping the Bear, dropping a snowball on everybody. Urgot and Smolder clean up the rest. That's pretty much the game plan for the side of Summit Esports. They're definitely looking to close this series out. It is going to take time though. Smolder should hit 225 by, what is it, like 25 minutes or something, or 22 minutes? Somewhere between 22 and 25 minutes is when ideally he should be hitting those stacks. There's the Janna I've been hinting at a little bit. I like that pick a lot. It can disrupt a lot of what Rel can do. And with Sinjeri's picking that also gives a lot of sustain to the Sivir as well, and safety with shielding. And with the movement speed that she can get off of her, this could be a pretty make or break pick, I think. So I'm not upset over the Janna pick. I think it's fine, but this could be a spicy game 3. Now, whether or not we're about to get to game 4, that's up to Sinjeri's Watermelons, because this is not a double elimination bracket. If they lose, they are out.
Now, I haven't fielded this question to you yet this series, just because, well, the drafts have been a little bit iffy, games 1 and 2, but I think this might be our closest draft phase we've had so far in this series. So I gotta ask, which of these two teams do you favor for it? Just the draft, just the draft.
I know. I like Sinjeri's more.
All right. Well, with that, we're gonna start building up our secondary delay once again. It doesn't seem like Team Secret really has too much else to say about that. They do have the range, and I think that's what I'm gonna mention. I think their poke is gonna be a lot better once Sean gets those stacks. The Vic's just gonna be able to absolutely shred through.
Yeah.
And the Janna gonna prevent all the engage coming out of Summit Esports. But either way, it's time to start building up our spectator delay. We're gonna go to a short break, and when we come back, match point for Summit Esports. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon. And we are on the Rift for game number 3, Summit Esports Arctic Warfare. They're on match point, but SYN, Jerry's Watermelons are going to try to bring it back, and already seeing some interesting decisions. There's a teleport on the AD carry.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I'm like, why do we have teleport on Smolder? I mean, I guess no. I mean, I think cleanse would. I'm a cleanse Andy though, to be fair. But barrier is also really popular. So maybe just maybe because he knows that like Sivir will have the lane push. I mean, she generally does with the bouncing boomerangs after like a little bit of time and a couple points in it. Maybe like a few long swords when she gets that in her kit. She's able to clear this backline pretty effectively. So having the chance to be able to come back to lane quickly, I think, is absolutely fine. As we're getting a lot of movement here onto the top side of the map. I guess we're trying to bully some vision down so that way they can get an idea as to where this Nunu would be. It looks like that Heki is going to start on the bottom side of the map. There are no sweepers, so they're going to go ahead and leave that there, and there should be a bot side start to top side angle, I would think. I think getting gold on the Urgot is fine. Hopefully Espada is going to be able to become a beef ball that becomes completely unkillable, because otherwise this Urgot is going to be a menace, because there are no real tanks besides the Malphite on the side of SJW. And I say mostly because Maokai nowadays has been trending towards more the AP build, which I'm not too much of a fan of, but maybe Mist will change my mind about that.
Yeah, I mean, one big thing with Maokai is the early game damage has always been strong. I mean, the Bramble Smash has so much burst damage in its base numbers. Obviously, later on, you're going to fall off, and especially as you get later in the game, if you do build AP, it is a little bit harder to engage. But I do think that, in general, Maokai can be quite strong, especially in those early game fights. And the way Mist has been playing this entire series, always been playing pretty aggressive early on. I think it could do quite a bit as level 2. Gonna get hit by both bot laners, and Nahor just gonna get the Shattering Strike, but doesn't look like they want to do a full commit, at least not yet.
No, I wouldn't think so. Maybe level 3 they'll decide to do something, but by that point Spell Shield will be up. But Sivir can only block one of those, so we'll have to wait and see what they decide to go for. As I'm seeing a snowball going towards mid lane right now. They're pinging it there.
Yeah, looking towards Sean and Montracue. Doesn't have the stun quite yet, needs one more charge, but the root is going to come through. The flash from Heki,
nice.
And it's going to be first blood going over to Montracue. As Mist also going to take a little bit of poke on the way out, but Maokai should be able to just heal that back up as good spell shield from Gucci.
All right, so, and the moment I saw a snowball being formed in the river, I was in my head, I'm like, does the victor die here? Sean, unfortunately, does go down. First blood over to the Annie, crucially, as well. So, going to be feeling very good about that one. And Heki getting started early, just as I said, is these junglers, when they have the tools available to them, will absolutely set their teams up for success. And so far, we are seeing that in this early stages of this game 3. Really good start, too, for the side of... Oh, do we get a little chip damage? No, never mind. But, oh, wait. Oh, hold on. What are we doing?
I know what that play is. So Proton Plat player is going to be looking to teleport back and is just trying to get the final bit of stacks from the flap. It's just a little optimization. That's actually Snowball looking towards a Spada. I'm guessing this is just to let Nubili get the reset. Yeah, they're definitely not going to be diving a Malphite even without mana this early on.
No, there's no shot they do that. So the resets will be going for the side of SYN Jerry's right now, and I think that's fine. We're going to see the call coming out of both the carries here and the boots as well. So honestly, more worth probably for the Sivir than it is for the Smolder, because those boots are going to come in handy. We do see the Maokai on a ward here, so Mist will be getting their first reset off. Looks like that Heki is going to do the same as well, so both these players should be getting a little bit of AP damage. They're both probably going the same build for all we know. So the Leandries most likely for the both of them. I wonder, this is about to tell you the extent of League content creators that I watch. I wonder if we're going to get the ye old classic Kesha E West build, where after we're done with Leandries, maybe we go Proto Belt or something here as... getting a little bit of trading here on the top side of the map. We missed the cannon to get that trade, which I don't think is really worth it. This Malphite's going to be building straight AP, and it will get to a point where Nubili will not really do anything to him anymore. Okay, well, there's a snowball.
Yeah,
now.
snowball. It's going to find its way onto Dr. Shop, but they don't have the damage follow-up yet, but not even going to be needed. Still going to get rooted even after the flash. They're going to give it off to Proton Plat player, as in the top side is Spada and Nubili trading very heavily. Nubili not gonna flash in for the 1-for-1. Honestly, with the wave save, probably best, but now Montracue looking for a little bit of a trade. I'm wondering how close they are to level 6. Really, in both of these lanes, it's Nubili gonna flash in, but not gonna take the aggro, not even needed. Espada gonna get the solo bolo in the top side, but Summit gonna at least be able to get the dragon in the bot lane.
They hilariously flashed over each other. It's like they knew they were about to flash, so it ends up being a flash for flash and the kill over to Malphite as well. And I was saying, if you want gold on your Malphite, go for it. We have a snowball going down mid lane. The Victor is flashless, but should be able to walk away from that. So just really, we're getting the Drake on the bot side of the map. That is a Cloud Drake, which is going to be very beneficial for this team. Now we have the steel item. What is that called? Why am I blinking so bad? But we have that done now for Malphite. Warden's Mail. There we go. So I'm assuming we're going for Frozen Heart first, I would think. Does that go in? Frozen Heart is.
I think it most likely it could even be something like a Randuin's.
That's true.
If they're just going to be going like full tank on Espada, it would definitely make the lane pretty free because a lot of Urgot's damage is just a very fast attack speed coming in from his W, from his purge, right? So if you have flat damage reduction per shot, it adds up really fast versus Urgot. Kind of like the same reason why the Cull works so well for Urgot.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I did look into it. So yeah, it could either be Randuin's or Frozen Heart. So it could be either one or the other. So I think both would be just fine. It would come in handy regardless of what has been happening. But that 100 armor, or is it still 100 armor, or is it 90 something now? I actually don't think it's 100 armor anymore. I think it's 80. Okay, so it's 80 armor now, so even that is a lot of armor to get against this Urgot and this Smolder. So with that in mind, I think that's something that I'll look forward to, kind of go towards a little bit of armor shred. Urgot will get to a point where your armor shreds anyways, but Smolder is going to have a much harder time as we're invading on the top side, and Mist is aware of this. Does not have the level 6, though. The Chomp Smite should secure it. Rel is here, too. Lord have mercy, we're fighting.
Oh, Mist is just walking right in, and Heki is going to be able to get the red buff. Mist going to be able to flash over, though the Tibbers was there, but did not have the stun behind it. As just one more Q needs to come out, and with the Disintegrate, going to be able to get the kill. Is now Heki running into Sean, but doesn't seem like the cooldowns are there for the chase. A lot of flashes used, though. Heki, Mantra Q, and Mist, and Sean, actually, all four burning that summoner.
So lots of flashes were burned at the end of that. The grubs are up. This should be grubs. Oh, we're 1v1ing here on the bot side. Well, I think Sivir wins that because she has a BF sword. But killing Mist there is huge. Whoa.
And now there's level 4s coming in. And it looks like Nubly wants to try and fight again. Fear Beyond Death is used and will be able to get the execute. As now the mid lane, Sean is going to be the next target. Mantra Q out of mana. Does not have the final spell, but Proton Plat player going to be able to come in and help secure that kill. But it's still a 1-for-1 in the mid lane.
I know what the game plan was, and that was to give it over to the Smolder, but let's back up a little bit all the way to that top side fight that happened. So, Nubly and Espada, the 1v1 of the century that we have seen in this game. Unfortunately, Espada runs out of mana, and because Nubly has about enough mana to rotate their spells, they're able to secure the kill and get one back for themselves. They're up CS, they're tied in kills now, but you see the Golding is expanding a little bit for the side of Summit Esports. To that mid lane play, I know the game plan there was to give the kill to Smolder, just unfortunately they were not able to do so, so it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade, which I think is better for SYN because that was the shutdown from the Annie that went over to the Victor. Hold on.
Oh yeah, now they're going to be looking towards all Gucci. The barrier and the spell shield have both been used, but on the hunt will buy more than enough space. As now Mist coming in with a Nature's Grasp, and it looks like now we're going to be caught in it, but in the meanwhile, on the top side, they're looking towards Espada. I don't think Espada really has anywhere to go. No unstoppable force, no flash, and the teleport actually going to get interrupted. As now the snowball is there from Heki, just slowly delaying the inevitable. Will just die to turret to make sure that it goes to the jungler instead of Nubly, but still, Malphite going down.
So Sean tried to TP for that. I think Mantra Q had the stun up, which is why that got canceled. I don't know.
That was Espada's TP.
Espada tried to TP out? I didn't even see it. Okay. Never mind. What do I know? Either way, Espada was not getting out of that regardless. The Nunu is there. Urgot was there. I mean, there was just no way that they were going to get out of the situation. So that's a kill. While that does go to Heki, that's 2 tower plates that went over to Nubly. As I'm watching a snowball on my screen, Mist might be caught here, but the team is not really there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still going to be a little bit of poke damage and probably just fighting to get vision control over near that bot side river. But the next dragon has spawned, and decent gold lead already for Summit, by the way. I think this is the biggest gold lead we've seen this early in the game for this series as well.
Not again.
Nubly versus Espada. Unstoppable force is there, so shouldn't be in kill threat, but Sean very well could be, and now they have the absolute zero, but it doesn't matter. Heki's the first to go down. Now Mom coming out over top, going to be able to get the kill back. Mist will get taken down as well. Proton Plat player with the blue buff now looking for more, but all Gucci and D-Shot just going to be able to back away. Neither side's going to be able to take the dragon because the junglers are gone, but huge victory coming out for Summit.
Oh, okay. I thought they were getting ready to turn. Okuchi does have flash, but should be fine. So it ends up being a 2 for 9, 1 for 2 actually at the end of that whole thing. The Mist and I believe the Victor went down during that play.
Yep.
Smolder got 2 of those kills, both of those kills. So that is one of those hard scaling aspects of more gold is, does Disho die here? He has flash too, so it should be fine, I would think. But they're really low. This does mean that they're forced to reset. They can no longer have access to this dragon. As Mist is in the area, does have the ultimate, but no flash. I don't think we should be trying to contest this right now. I think it's okay with giving this up. Kind of get a little more items in the back of your belt. We should be close, so why are we still here? I understand we feel like we have to catch the wave, but now this just leads up to a dive.
No, I think it will be difficult to dive. They don't know where the Maokai is, and Mist is in the area. That Nature's Grasp could definitely get that turn going. And Proton Plat player hasn't reset yet. Should be on a pretty big item spike. I'm assuming it is going to be the Essence Reaver build. That's kind of the main build. Sometimes you see the Triforce, but I think with the pickaxe, it's basically guaranteed to be Essence Reaver. And I mean, Smolder's already 4-0, taking plates as well. This is a very, very fed dragon.
So we're 12 minutes into the game. We should be at about 100 stacks, I would assume, if we want to check Smolder stacks real quick. I would think we're at that.
99.
Okay, we were close. So 99 stacks that Smolder currently has. We're about 120. 100 math. Math is hard. 126. 126 stacks. See, this is why I didn't major in math in college, because I sucked and math is hard, and that I, as a musician, I can only count to 4, sometimes 6, but you're pushing it if it's 8. So lots of plates being traded here in the bottom lane. I think that was 3 that got taken earlier. It looks like Smolder was just gonna go ahead and play this wave here. So a lot of gold.
Oh, but in the mid lane, Sean gonna flash away back to his death. Hecky just gonna be able to snag that kill again.
Okay, Sean's dead. So there's that. But this should get a lot of tower pressure. Oh, we're ulting. All right, never mind. We're 1v1ing. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, but Proton Plat player doesn't win in the 2v1 scenario, no matter how fed the Smolder is. Until 225, you don't really deal damage on Smolder.
And that was the point, because once upon a time, Smolder used to do a lot of damage before he got to 225, and he just did more of a lot of damage. Oh, that was close. But we just did more of a lot of damage. But we have a snowball here, and we're diving the Malphite.
Yeah, they're looking for the Malphite. Unstoppable Force is available and is going to get used into the back, going to be into the snowball. Now, Hecky tanking up for now, going to back away, but they're just going to take down the turret. And without the turret, there is no threat. Absolute 0 for the style points. And another pick off in the top lane.
Didn't comment on it earlier, but when they secured that second drink, they got the feats of strength already. So the first tower is just the added bonus on top of that. Nubili
is alone, does not have friends nearby. Sean is over the wall as well, getting a little bit of extra poke damage. And that's a shutdown to all Gucci. Probably the best target you could want for it, but they're still going to need to get a lot more. They're 4k gold down.
We appear to have greeted for wave, I think, but the tower on the bot side is falling, so that is the good news. More of the solo gold over to the Smolder. They do lose access to the Rift Herald because of Nubili being dead. I honestly think they could probably fight this if they wanted to.
And it looks like they do.
Okay, never mind. They're not going to. They're not going to. Okay. So I wish to privy thee in inquiry, if I may.
Proceed.
So 4,000 gold is the lead for the side of Summit Esports. 128 stacks, nice. So 4k gold lead right now. It's a little less now. It's going to be a little less in a little bit because they're probably going to get one of these towers, I would assume. Looks like they're going to be pushing towards the top tower. But I privy thee in inquiry. What should Sinjiri Watermelons do to come back into this game?
Honestly, I think before the Smolder has 225 stacks, you could just try grouping for a little bit. Because all the gold is on the member that does the least with it, ironically. Because the whole point of gold on Smolder is to get ability haste, so you get more stacks. It's not, you do get a little bit of damage, but on Smolder just doesn't add up as much. And I think with their combo, the Arcane Storm, the Unstoppable Force, Nature's Grasp to help set it up, And on the flip side, having the Janet to prevent any kind of counter engage, that's what their team columns built to do. And I kind of would like to see them try playing with it, as we're even seeing all Gucci does deal damage right now. So it is definitely within the realm of possibility. But with the side waves being the way they are, it's going to be difficult to get that set up.
Indeed, as Nubile is here in a 2v1. There is a Rel here this time.
Yeah, Unstoppable Force is going to get used, but this is a 2v2, so now Nubile can just turn right back. Magnetic Storm is going to use TP coming out from Montracue as well. Not sure if that part was necessary, but both sides just going to be able to walk it out. Flash for TP, missed for Montracue, but no one goes down.
And with the Unstoppable Force being down, Drake is up in 15 seconds, so that's a lot of team fight power that is lost. Oh, Sean's dead.
Yep, gonna get hit, but no more follow-up. As I say that, Sean's still gonna be getting hit. And now they have the Fear Beyond Death. Fear on it, too. They're gonna be able to take out D-Shot as well. And now they have the Root Absolute Zero, slowing them down. Mist gonna be going down as well. Twisted Advance just to their death. Hecky might get traded back. Espada gonna flash for it just to get rid of the smite. And with their health bars, this could be contestable, but no TP available on Sean. So even with that spawn, should still be going in favor of Summit.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have all Gucci to walk with you into there, so it's not really worth contesting it. So they lose the fight and they lose the Drake at the end of the day. This is sole point now for the side of Summit Esports Arctic Warfare. And I just saw Objective Bounties went active, so that pretty much says that they are in prime control of this game right now. There was a lot of damage, too, that Smolder had given off, so probably sitting nice and pretty at, I would assume, like 160, 70 stacks is my guess. So we're getting closer and closer to that breakpoint right now of this Smolder. Yeah, 155. So we're getting closer and closer to that breakpoint there. And like you were saying, SJW grouping there was a good idea. The problem is the wallets are starting to get a little heavy for the side of Summit Esports. So these fights are just kind of unfortunate for them, but they're going to go ahead and drop the Rift Throw to try to get some of this gold back. It won't kill the tower. Nahor is here as well, which I just want to casually point out that Nahor is a fun little style. Oh, hold up.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to be in the way. That just shows how ahead they are, because most Rels will die there, but because they're so far ahead, because they know that if SJW does a full engage there, they still win. They'll lose the Rel, but in response, SJW will lose their whole team. But we're seeing here, because they tried to group, but Sean got caught out in the jungle. But this time around, we saw they grew for a little bit, and they absolutely win the poke war. Nahor gets taken down low, Proton Plat player gets taken down super low. But unfortunately, they're just not able to start the fights, and I think that's their biggest issue right now.
And I think if they do a fight like that with Malphite, the Unstoppable Force. Now, Proton Plat player does have Flash, though. But if they can burn that Summoner spell, the Flap, yes, is still available, but you have a lot of tools to be able to catch up to the Smolder still. And I think that's something that SJW could look forward to. But other than that, right now, the game's pretty much Summit Esports, and that train is going to continue rolling, especially as we get further and further into this game. Smolder is going to hit 225 here in the next, 5 to 10 minutes, so there is a nice little timer going through as the mom is going to be available here shortly. It looks like the teams are going to do the classic of farm it out. Oh, that didn't stop the recall. The classic of farm it out, get those next item points. Smolder is going to be on 3 items here soon as well. Are we going? Oh, okay.
I mean, this should just be theirs. They have full vision control. They have a huge gold lead. They'll lose the mid lane tier 1, which will give an objective bounty, but I think Otacon is a strong enough objective, and their gold lead is high enough that they don't really care.
I agree with you. So this should be just easily taken off the map. There's really no contest. Normally, I mean, I would have beef with that, but there was no vision on that side of the map. Your jungler was not anywhere near that area, so it just made sense to just give it up and not even try to contest it. So that is more, not exactly gold, but it's more stats given over, because the experience from the pedals as well. So it's just a little bit of more. It's not the way the way I heard Captain Flowers describe this at MSI rather is that after you get all of the pedals and the experience, it's about the equivalent of 1,500 gold or something in terms of stats. So that is something that is in favor of Summit Esports right now, but they've been pretty good this entire game so far. They've been ahead. They're 4,000 gold up. We're 20 minutes into the game now. I would assume we're getting closer and closer to that smolder stack mark. We were at 155 about a couple minutes ago, so gonna check on that. I think in the next like 5 minutes or so is when we'll go ahead and check on that. But for now, I think we're just kind of posturing for this soul because this is Ocean Soul point for the side of Summit Esports, and it forces SJW to have to fight them, and they're just being a nuisance and poking things out. We're getting the TP for the Malphite right now. This would be the time to do a fight, but there is no flash on the Malphite. So if you can get a good R off, I think it's a really good for the side of Sinjeri's.
Yeah, but 1 minute until Dragon spawns, and the poke already starting to land. Twisted Advance gonna get used on an hour, but Mom over top. Montracue flashing to the backline, not able to hit anyone with Timbers though. And does the re-engage come through? Unstoppable Force is still available, and there it comes in over onto the Arcane Storm, and now Twisted Advance into Bramble Smash. They're able to bring the fight back for now, but Montracue still alive, still dealing a lot of damage. Everyone is low, but Montracue and the rest of Summit are even lower, will be riding away, tail between their legs, and that's a huge fight for SJW.
Absolutely huge fight for them. Man, oh man, it's like we said, you have to fight before 225, because let's be real, if that's a 225 smolder, they all die there. I'm not even gonna lie. Now, unfortunately, the health bars are too low to do the Drake, I would say. Your Sivir's not there, your Malphite's gonna get there, but it's gonna take him a while to do this. So this team can come back on the map. Nunu with the snowball can be back here quickly. So I don't think we're done just yet.
No, but if the fight is fast, I think it favors Summit. They are much less reliant on their ultimates. And I think that's kind of the reason why SJW might be just trying to burst this down. But Heki's already in the area. TP gonna be coming in. That's Nubly over top. But now the Smite Chomp is available. That Smite Consume. And will get slowed. The Snowball's not able to get in. But now in the middle, Montracue able to get one kill. Will steal the Dragon. That's gonna be Soul Point. Absolute zero to take down Mist as well. All Gucci running away from Montracue. No stun up for a little while, but the biggest snowball ever. Just gonna pull all Gucci into Montracue again. And it's a 4-0, and the Soul on Summit for that secondary engage.
Yeah, right as I said. I mean, we're 22, at least 23 minutes into the game now. Just the death timers are not long enough for the side of SJW. They're gonna lose the Soul, probably lose an inhibitor as well,
and probably lose a Spada. Actually, Unstoppable Force has to get used. Doesn't even matter. One more auto's needed.
Oh my lord!
The Monsoon actually gonna get used to save a Spada, but the ultimate's already been used. The Spada doesn't really matter anymore, does he?
Not really, no. And it opens up the inhibitor as well, so they should reset here. Baron is up in about 54 seconds, so opening that inhibitor, I think at this point is fine. Okay, like that's a bad recall spot. Let's not do that. Is that the burn there? Is Smolder 225 finally? I think he is. Can we check the
227?
Oh. All right. So that is a Smolder at 227 stacks. Yeah, that is where we are right now. We're 6,000 gold ahead as well. Objective bennies are active. If you put each of the Drakes on top of that as well, it's about 7,000 gold-ish ahead, rather. Each Drake is about like 700 gold anyways, but with them having an Ocean Soul, they're never going to die. There's no heal cut, I believe, on the other side as of right now. We'll find out in just a second. There is no heal cut, actually, on the side of SJW, so they're going to be having a hard time fighting this. And Nunu, having the healing that he does, is going to be absolutely obnoxious to get through. They have the first move on to this Baron. They take out a ward that's there, and they can blow up Mist if they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, they can do whatever they want. They're actually going to use the Timbers as well. At the very least, it's going to prevent Mist from trying to contest this Baron, but they could turn it back, and they're going to take Montracue. They're going to take two. Assault Force over top, not going to be able to steal the Baron, but now the fight has started. Smolder has the stacks, though, is still in a safe spot. Mist going to be the first to burn down. Proton Flap player, Flap, going forward, still looking for more. All Gucci on the wrong side of the map, but looks to turn it back on a Proton player. Has the spell shield, almost buys enough space. Proton Flap player still alive, heals a bit from the drive, and triple kill goes over. Quadra kill going to Proton Flap player as Smolder just doing what Smolder does, and they might even be looking to end the game here.
That makes a lot of sense. They have Baron, they have the minions in the base. Proton Plat player going to TP to end the game. It is a 3-0 to end this series. Game 1 was close. Game 2 was arguably a throw from the side of SJW. And Game 3 was decisive for the side of Summit Esports Arctic Warfare.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting series because game 1 was so neck and neck the whole time. Game 2 was favoring SGW for a while. We didn't get to see that part, unfortunately, but we did get to see how the comeback did happen from Summit. But this was so one-sided in the third game. I think their confidence was there, and like we were talking about, there's a lot of subs on this team, so maybe they were just able to meld together better as the series went on.
I think so, because they looked better and better as the series went on. Summit Esports now going through the round of 12 and moving on to the quarterfinals, I believe, next week. So good on them. I mean, they're looking like a strong team. I don't know if we know who they'll be playing against, because that will be fun to find out. But wow, Summit Esports Arctic Warfare, in my head coming into this series, as I was going through like their stats and whatnot, I saw that like SYN Jerry like brought their the second seed in their group to 3 games, almost beating them, and their only actual like bad loss was against the top team. So I'm like, this is gonna be a good team, but it seemed like they were not able to play their game plan that they have, because Summit Arctic just had their number the whole time. They just had their number. They just had the game plan in mind, and they executed that game plan really, really well. And I also feel like, and I said this before, that the comp that SJW drafted was just a little harder to execute, and I think we saw that.
Yeah, definitely. But one thing I do want to point out, and you're gonna absolutely hate me for this, it was 2-1 for blue side for this series. So
for context, I had a note saying that red side probably was going to be the better side this series, and after game 2 it looked like it until the incident happened, and then Summit just absolutely stomped in game 3. So
no, I mean, I do agree. I think red side was looking really good, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because Summit Esports just looked better than SYN Jerry's Watermelon. And the longer we got into the game, and especially in that game 3, I think the biggest difference is Espada wasn't able to be that lane bully. I think that's really what made it so one-sided, because games 1 and 2, they were still losing on the other side of the map, but Espada was just so far ahead that they were able to build a little bit of pressure and just kind of go from there. We saw how one-sided it was against New Blood. So once you put them on a Malphite, it just, you lose that advantage, and everything just kind of fell apart from there.
Yep, I agree. Maybe that was the game to whip out the Fiora, but yeah, we'll never know. That's another universe that unfortunately did not happen, as Summit Esports Arctic Warfare take the series 3-0 and they move on. Hey, that was exciting. That was a lot of fun. I mean, I'm excited to see what they could do throughout the rest of the playoffs, but that's it for us, I guess. We're not doing an interview, right?
No, I don't think so.
No.
But I mean, with that, I mean, like DBZ said, it's time for us to call it a night. It's time for us to head off. Congratulations to Summit Esports Arctic Warfare for advancing to the round of 8, to the quarterfinals, I should call it. And thank you all for coming by, for watching this series. Once again, I was Tokibi. Joining me is DBZ Freak. And we'll see you next week. You have yourselves a great night.